To me, the Detroit Lions defensive line is a strength of this football team, and we got a real strong D. And I'm going to tell you why, the reasons for this, what I think the expectations for the Lions defensive line, what it means for the franchise, not just this year, but as a whole, developing such a good trenches for the Lions on the defensive front. That's just this video, just the defensive line, because let's say they made a pretty good offensive line as well. But before we get into today's video, if you're a fan of taking a light bulb, smashing it, and pushing it right into your heart and turning it all the way, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, because we talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors. And sometimes being a Lions fan, it feels like your heart can get cut up. Also, make sure you take that like button with you. Take that good old light bulb and smash that bad boy in there. Let's get into today's Lions defensive line. One of the reasons why I think the Detroit Lions defensive line is very strong, and again, if it's strong D, is I feel like when it comes to a leadership perspective, we have very good veterans on this football team. Leading it all here is Michael Brockers. Now, his play is not the best on the field. You're not going to see this guy be a spring chicken here and just dominate all the time, like some of the players I feel that we do have on this Lions defensive line. But what he does has is veteran leadership skills to teach these young players, because we have a very young defensive line, very young defense as a whole, to lead them the correct way, to develop, to train, and to ultimately sack the quarterback and stop the run, create havoc in the middle of the Lions defense. That's what it's all about for the Detroit Lions, is getting those developmental aspect up. The player comes in here and we continue to get better because of a Michael Brockers, because of a Charles Harris. I think the Lions veterans that we do have, even though it's a young roster, is very good. Perfect for the amount of talent that we have for the young parts of the Lions defense. But let me know in the comment section below, where do you rank the Detroit Lions defensive line in the NFL? 1 through 32. If you think they're the best defensive line, put 1. If you think they stink, put 32. But I'm curious to see what you guys think upon the Detroit Lions defensive line. Now, let's get into another reason why I think the Detroit Lions got a very strong D, a very strong defensive line, is we have a player coming back who was injured last year. Before last year, he was very good. We're talking about Romeo Okwara. Romeo Okwara is a guy who is an underrated player that can get the job done and sack the quarterback. He was a major focal point before he got injured because we didn't really have talent around him, and he still got the job done. Love what he did from an experience standpoint, is a veteran, but he does have the big play ability to get around the tackle, sack the quarterback. He's got those skills for a really nice price. It's not like we're paying this guy big time money. He is a very good player to help out the Lions out and ultimately be a great player opposite of our young players such as Aidan Hutchinson and Joshua Paschal, to really change the dimension that we've seen for the Lions defense. We've been waiting for a combination of talent, leadership, and skill to come together as one. And when you have someone like Romeo Okwara, who's been injured and has a lot of that, come together with the young players, I think it spells really great news for the Detroit Lions defensive line, being a very, very strong D. Next up, we have the second-year players. There is 2 players in particular that I think really ultimately elevates the Lions defensive line to the next level. Why? Because we got Alim McNiell and Levi Onwuzurike. We're going to start with Alim McNiell here first. Now, we drafted this guy last year. A lot of people questioned taking him after we took Levi, but we've seen what he can do for the Lions defense. He's the anchor to help stop the run. He's a productive, injured-free young player. That's exactly what the Lions need up front. He's that guy that plugs the hole, and he does a really good job for what he's tasked to do. Alim McNiell was one of the steals I had felt like in the Lions draft last year. One of those players that produced more than expectations. A very productive young player with the big belly to help the Lions get better in the middle of the Lions defense. Alim McNiell is a stud, and I think he's going to continue to grow this year for the Detroit Lions in year two. Why? There's talent around it. When you have more talent around you, you are going to produce better. You're not the main guy that has to be worried about. A lot of injuries, too. Like we talked about Romeo Okwara, it really hurt all the players that were playing. Alim McNiell, he's really going to make this Lions' year two much improved. And let's talk about Levi Onwuzurike, the guy we took last year in the second round. He was injured last year, out of shape. So what does this guy do? He stays in Detroit, injury-free, gets in phenomenal shape, and now he can grow to the expectations that we expect him to do. He wasn't able to really jump to what we want last year because of the issues, but now, shape, healthy, and the talent around, man, his play should be much improved. And again, that is something that's going to help the Detroit Lions defensive line in a big way, is his development along with Alim McNiell beasting up the middle of the Lions defense. A young tandem that's going to grow. And with the talent around it, Levi Onwuzurike should be much improved in 2022, leading to the Detroit Lions having a very strong defensive line. Let me know in the comment section right now. We drafted a guy, the second overall pick, in Aidan Hutchinson. Will this guy be Defensive Rookie of the Year? Let me know in the comment section below. Why for yes and for no. What do you think about our guy, Aidan Hutchinson? Now we're just going to talk about injured players in particular. Why? Because the Lions had a lot of injuries last year. We touched on it a little bit with Romeo. But across the defensive line, with Harris going down and multiple injuries with Levi, with, again, Romeo, and we've had with Julian throughout the time, now the Detroit Lions defensive line seems to be healthy. Let's go ahead and keep our fingers crossed. They stay healthy, the production is going to be much improved. When you have more bodies, when you're healthy, you continue to rotate players in and out through first quarter all the way to the end of the game, and that spells a great defensive line from the beginning to the end. You're able to give other players rest because you have more bodies. That's fantastic. That's something that we did not have last year because the injury prone that occurred in the Lions' trenches, both offensive defenses, my ad, really hurt production. But now they're healthy, knock on wood. And that should really propel the Lions' defensive line into a very strong D, into what we want to see from regards to stopping the run and get after the quarterback. He's watching the Levis and the Okwaras. These guys get on there and make plays for the Lions' defense. Sack the quarterback, stop the run, rotate the player out, get after it again, giving no quarterback time to rest up because there's waves of defenders coming at you. That's what we can have this year. That's what's different so far this year for the Lions defense than compared to last year. Think of what we did in 2011 and 14, where you had waves of defenders going after the quarterback. We had Ndamukong Suh, we had Cliff Averill. That's what can be replicated here. I'm not saying the same type of success because there's different players. We don't have an Ndamukong Suh, but we have players that are really good that can come in wave after wave, and it gives your team rest in the fourth quarter. And to me, that's a major victory. What's also a major victory is going to chatsports.com/LionsBet. You bet on games. NBA, MLB going on right now soon. We're going to get into the NFL. If you put in the promo code LIONS125, you get a 125% deposit bonus. Don't have to bet a lot of money. I talk about it all the time. It's better than go to a casino and a scratch-off ticket. Go ahead and check out chatsports.com/LionsBet. Lastly, and surely not least, is the Detroit Lions rookies. The Lions rookies coming in from this year to the Lions current players on defense. is going to elevate this defensive line to the next level. First off, Aidan Hutchinson is an absolute beast. The guy can get after the quarterback. He has a motor that doesn't end. He's what the Lions need. We haven't had a player like this in some time, a face on defense. Aidan Hutchinson is a face. He's a leader of men. He can get after it. He's exactly what the Lions need to getting sacks in the quarterback. Did it in college. Should do it a pretty good job here. He's got a high motor, got great handwork. It's going to help the Lions' defensive line in a big way out, having that face, folks. It really is. That's what we needed. We needed a face. We got a face. They didn't stop there, though, folks. They went and got Joshua Paschal in the second round, who can play both in and out. He can stop the run, get after the quarterback, and is another leader of men, a very well-rounded defensive lineman. Again, a player you can rotate in and out, a young body, stop the run, sack the quarterback. Defensive line much improved from those two players. And this defensive line is extremely young. Literally, we completely revolutionized this side of the football in 2 years. Completely. And you still got players like Penasini, other players that contribute as well. So the Lions' defensive line is very good. From rookies to veterans to young players, this defensive line is stout, folks. And I think we're going to have a nasty defensive line. Exactly what we need. We don't need to have the greatest defensive line in the world of all time, but we get a much improved defensive line. We have a strong D. Guess what, folks? Have fun running on us. Compared to what was last year, it was like a leaky faucet. This year, it's going to be a little bit different. Folks, you want to follow me on all social media sites. Lions Nation Unite, dropping live streams Monday through Friday. Doing it live. That's not even on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter, MicroMike85, as well as on Facebook. Content is flowing. With that said, folks, adios.